Chapter 11, Part 2. Concept 2. Measuring insulin. Insulin is measured in units. Most of insulin vials are 100 units and it's written on the label 100 IU, which means International Unit per Milliliter. Insulin usually comes in the following packaging. One is insulin pen. Usually it's prescribed for exclusively one single person and with exclusive dosage for that person. It cannot be transferred to any other patient, and we need to remember, since it's convenient to use in household, that there is not refrigeration required for that insulin pen. And in medical facilities, most commonly used insulin syringes. One of them is on the screen. U100 means 100 units per 1 milliliter. And there is another type, low dosage, contains 50 units in 1/2 milliliter. So calibrations of insulin syringes. In syringe 8 on the image, U100 syringe calibrated for every 2 units. Please take a look. The closest labeled units is 30 and 20 milliliter units. If we will subtract, the difference is 10, and there are 5 lines between them, so we will divide 10 by 5. That's how we come up to 2 units. Difficult usually to measure odd number units, right? So we will take a look later at another 100 unit syringe. In examples B and C on our figure, we can observe low dose 50 unit and 30 unit syringes calibrated for every unit. Please take a look. The step between labeled units is 5 units and 5 lines, so for each unit. Reading insulin syringes, let's try to read them. In the first example, we observe syringes, low dose syringes, 50 units, right? So syringe A indicates 30 units pre-filled syringe, and syringe B, please take a look, you have 35 and plus 2 other smaller labels. That's what we have, 37 units. In example number 2, we are talking about 100 unit syringes. So remember that calibration here is 2 units. So therefore we want to read carefully A. Please take a look that the line actually that separates the medication is right in the middle between 24 and 26. So that's why we need to answer that this is 25 units. And in B, we can look carefully. This is exactly 54 units of insulin. Concept 3, combining insulin dosages. For many people who have diabetes, the prescription comes with 2 different types of insulins, usually regular and intermediate acting insulin, right? Insulin R and insulin N. So regular insulin usually clear, as you remember, and cloudy insulin is N insulin. So we need to remember the main rule that clear insulin should be drawn in the syringe first. So you see highlighted rule, clearer than cloudy. We need to remember that. And we also need to take a look at the procedure. So first of all, we will need to inject some air in the vials because it will maintain the same pressure that we need in vial. In addition, we also need to remember insulin should not be shaken. We just gently mix it by rolling between palms of our hands. Okay, let's take a look at the steps for combining insulins in same syringe for administration. Order 12 units of regular and 30 units of NPH insulin. So first of all, we can use the low dose syringe, since the total number of units plus 12 plus 30 is 42 units, right? So step 1, we can draw up 30 units of replacement air in syringe for NPH. So that's very important step. Why? Because later you are going to inject that air in the vial, because we want to balance the air. Inject air in the NPH vial and remove the needle. So make sure that the needle is not touching insulin. Step 2, the same step, draw up 12 units of replacement air into syringe for regular insulin and then insert the needle. So you can take a look at that image on the right. So make sure again needle is not touching the insulin. Step number 3, inject air into regular vial and draw up 12 units of regular insulin. Remember, regular clear should go first in the syringe. Step 4, pick up gently NPH insulin, rotate it between the palms, and that's how it will be mixed. Insert needle in the NPH vial and draw up 30 units. And we need to administer that mix of insulins immediately, since NPH will alter onset, peak, and duration of regular insulin within 20 minutes. So keep in mind, right away you need to administer insulin. In example number 2, I want to discuss what's happening in the syringe that we draw 2 different types of insulin in one syringe, and what is the way to shade correctly the insulin on that syringe. Order Novolin R, which is regular clear insulin 20 units, and Humulin and 15 units subcutaneously AC before meals at 7:30 a.m. So what should be the solutions? First, we need to calculate the total volume. 20 units plus 15 units will be 35 units, and we are going to indicate it on the syringe. So I want to take a look at this example of your syringe provided here. Even though it's 100 unit syringe, it has 2 scales shifted by 1 unit. On the scale on the top you have units 10, 20, 30, so they are even units, and at the bottom scale 5, 15, 25, so for the even and odd units, 2 scales. So therefore we classify that 2 scale syringe as calibrated in 1 unit increments. Okay, so the yellow line shows for us the total volume, 35 units. Now remember, so the first insulin drawn in the syringe is Novolin R clear. Therefore, it will be closer to the end of the syringe than Humulin and cloudy drawn after that, so it will be closer to the tip on the syringe. So therefore, in order to shade it properly, you want to show first from the tip from 0 to 15, that's 15 units will be Humulin and cloudy, and then after that between 15 and 35, 20 units for clear insulin. Good luck in shading.